Hello everyone and welcome to Call Sign Charlie Models. Andre here, and it is time for another inbox review, and today we are doing another Cobra. We are doing the AFV Club 135th Air Cavalry Brigade AH-1W Super Cobra, the NTS update from the ROC Army Aviation Special Forces Command right here. So, looking like a nice kit from the box art straight off. Nice decent sized box right here, and then on the front we also have three metallic 20 millimeter barrel assemblies, the detail upgrades turret which can be turned left or right, including the AH-1W late version resin assemblies, including the late version Photo-etch sheets, including a engine cover, could choose open or close. The canopy can also be opened or closed, including a multiple air to land arm modes, and brand new decal and painting instruction of the Roca, including opposing force painting instructions as well. So a lot going on with this kit. And then we go off to the side, and then we have a little description, a repeat of what we just read right here, with a few of the extra parts included. Then on the other side we have just the decal sheet and a front profile of the Cobra right here. Now we opened up the box and it is decently packed with plastic. So far everything is looking pretty good. We have our fuselage and then a bag with all of our resin goodies, and then all the plastic is, the sprues are bagged with 2 sprues per bag. Our clear parts are separate, and then also we have a photo etch and decal sheet too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything set off to the side, and then we can start going through the instructions, decals, and all the plastic. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Alright, so opening it up, we have a nice little poster of the box art right here. Again, a little bit of a description down on the bottom right here. This is for kit number AF35S21 right here. So as long as you get a frame that can cover up this area right here, you should be good to go on the box art. And then there's nothing on the back side. It is a nice poster quality paper as well. Alright, now we're getting into the instructions. Again, a nice booklet format for the instructions, and we also have a nice little history right down here of the history of the AH-1W with some of the upgrades that went on with the NTS update right here. Alright, and then we open it up, we have our color callouts right here. Doesn't have a manufacturer for the color, just has the numbers for it. And then we have the typical read before assembly type deal. Alright, so starting off the kit, starting off with our cockpit area with our pilot seats and collective and cyclic right here, and then we're adding in our rudder pedals and our instrument panels going on. We also do have our gun going together at this point as well. Then after all that is done, we are going to sandwich our fuselage halves together with our gun assembly, and then also our tailplane right here. We also have a few parts to paint with the interior and also with our engine bays as well, and electronics bays also. After that, we are getting our engine put in with our intake and exhaust. As you can see right here, we do have our engine. Doesn't look like there's going to be much detail added to the engine, and we also do have a couple parts to cut off and then a piece of photo etch to add into that as well. Alright, so moving right along, we are adding in a lot of antennas and everything going on to there, and then the fuselage, or some photo etch going on to the fuselage as well. Then we have our front sensor assembly going on right there. Then we have our engine covers going. We do have the option of having them in the open or closed position. And then after that, we are adding in some more sensors going onto the fuselage right here. Then we have our FOD basket getting put together and folded onto there as well. After that, we're working on our stub wings, getting those all put together, as you can see right there, and put onto the fuselage along with our tail skid as well. Alright, after that we're adding in our clear parts. Again, we do have the option of having them in the open or closed position. There's two separate parts to this step right here with the open or close. And then we have a few other parts to add to the fuselage right here. Then we're working on our main rotor assembly, getting that attached, and then our electronics boxes going in right here as well. And you have the option of having those open or closed. After that's all done, we're adding in our skid, our landing skids, and also some Photo-etch for our formation lights, and a Photo-etch piece for the tail rotor shaft cover right here. Do need to cut off some more pieces back here, or trim off some detail of the fuselage so we can add in our formation lights and Photo-etch right there. Then after that, we're just repeating for the other side, and then also some more Photo-etch and a couple other resin pieces going on right there. And now we're working on our ordnance, getting our ordnance all put together. We have some rocket pods, some Hellfire missiles going together, and then we have a few other parts going onto our aft section of the fuselage right here. Alright, so now moving on to our color schemes. We have the ROC Army Special Forces Command right here in the olive drab with our gray Hellfires going on. Then a repeat, just a different one, different number on this. Not much changing to it, just some of the numbers and some of the lettering on it. Not much going on with that one. Then just a repeat of this right here. Again, going forward with this, not many changes, just the numbers are basically changing for all the for these decal options. Now we have some differences. We have the opposing force version right here with some red painted onto it again, and then same thing on this one, just a different fuselage number on that. Then after that, we have our parts list right here going through, and that's it for the instructions. Alright, so moving forward, we're starting off with our Photo-etch sheet right here. Photo-etch looks very nice, nice and thin, and all the grills are see-through on here, so those are going to be very nice. And then also we have our formation lights going right there, and all the Photo-etch does have some nice bolt detail going on as well. And then looking at our decals, so it looks like the decals have, in person, looks like they have yellowed, but they haven't. The decals, from what I can tell, they look fairly nice. They're thin. They're not really, the small stencils are not legible. But I mean, the color of all the decals and everything do feel alright. The thickness feels alright on them. So we'll have to see how these lay down. I've never built a AFV Club aircraft. I've built a couple of their armor pieces, and I do know that those were a little bit of a nightmare to assemble. Alright, so looking at our clear parts. Clear parts do look okay. I'm not seeing any cracks or seam lines or anything like that. For the clearness of them, I would probably rate them 8 out of 10 for the actual clearness of it. We also do have some scuff marks right here on this little bend of the front canopy right here, but everything else on here does look okay. Again, I'm not seeing, oh, now I hit it in a special angle of the light, and I can see a little crack going right down here. It does seem to be an interior crack, so you will not be able to sand that out or do anything with it. That's just going to be there. Alright, so now starting off with our first sprue of plastic, we have our main rotor blades. Rotor blades look alright. We have a little bit of detail up here, as you can see, and then we'll flip it over for the other side of our winglets here in a second. But our rotors, our main rotors and tail rotor, look pretty good on those. Now flipping over to the other side, the tail wing, or no, these are the electronics boxes. They do have some nice raised rivet detail on them, and then everything else, there is some pretty nice panel line and rivet detail, and our chaff and flare boxes also look pretty nice as well. And then we move on to our little winglets. Again, some nice rivet and panel line detail going on through there. And just moving on, it looks like this is a actual Academy kit, reboxed from AFV Club, because they still have the MRC stamp on the sprue. Alright, now moving on to the next one. Again, everything looks pretty decent. Our cockpit detail, the switches on here do look okay. And then the instrument panel also looks pretty good as well. For the instrument panel, we do not have a decal for it, so you will have to either paint those individually or find an aftermarket set out for that. And then for the intakes and exhausts, our exhausts right here, I don't know what's going on with that. They have the exhaust fan blades like right out in the open. I'm hoping that you can see that. If not, we'll zoom in so you can see that right there. Again, not sure what's going on with that. To me, that does not look right compared to what the AH-1Z and some of the other helicopters that have this type of exhaust. Those just do not look right, in my opinion. I'll have to do some research to see if they are right. But everything else on here, with the engine, we do have a little bit of engine detail molded into the plastic right here. And yeah, that's pretty much everything going on. All of our antennas and such going on right in here. But yeah. Alright, now our next two sprues are Ordnance. So we have all of our rocket pods going on here. Couple different rocket pods going on, as you can see. Not really not anything special on these. They definitely look like they are from 1992. We flip around to the other side and really no issues with the opposite side. We do have a couple of ejector pin marks right in there and there, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see those. Then our next Ordnance sprue is our Hellfire missiles. Again, so the top edge is a knife edge, but then we have the leading edge, which is very thick and blocked off, and comes to a triangle point on those. And then our Hellfire launchers, again, not really anything special on the detail wise. And then we have more rocket pods and everything going on right there. So again, all this really does look like it was from 1992. Alright, so up next we have our two fuselage halves. And looking at the detail of the exterior, we have some really nice rivet detail going on the fuselage right along here. The location for our formation lights, sometimes they're called slime lights, but the locations for that are pretty nice and detailed. But you're gonna be cutting all that off so you can put on the Photo-etch ones of that. But I mean, everything else on here looks, from the exterior side, looks pretty nice. On the interior side, really not much to worry about. You're just going to be putting the cockpit in right here, and there's no sidewall detail on there. Just a couple of armor plates to go on that one. And then on the opposite side, same thing with the level of detail with the rivets and everything. We're going to have a Photo-etch piece that goes over right here. Again, pretty nice, especially for, I'm sure in 1992 this was like extremely out of the box, like cutting edge, looked absolutely amazing. But by today's standard, it looks a little bit lacking, in my opinion. Alright, so up next we do have a few resin parts in this kit. We have the turret right here, which does have some nice detail on the underside of the turret right here, all molded in one piece, and it looks pretty good on that. And then we have our sensors right here, again looking pretty nice on that. We have a couple more pieces going on. I'm not sure what this one is for. I think this is one of the brackets that go over the fuselage. Then this piece, our rocket face right here. Actually, that is really nice on that. A couple of very small pieces for the cockpit. Another small piece, not sure where that goes. Another detail piece right in here. A couple more antenna going on. And then finally, a couple parts for the gun right here. And then we have our 3 gun barrels in metal right here. They are metal, but they are not drilled out. So they are solid end on the, nope, okay. They are drilled out of maybe a 1/10 of a millimeter on that. So they do not go very deep on the depth of the drill out for the metal barrels. Alright, so that is everything for the AFV Club AH-1 Whiskey Super Cobra with the NTS update. And for the kit, it looks okay. Some of the detail on it is pretty nice, especially the exterior detail on it. The exhaust area kind of leaves me wondering about that. And then the detail on the cockpit, it looks okay. It's going to take a little bit of work to get that up to today's standard, but it should look okay. The main rotor and the tail rotor also look pretty good, and the decals, I can't say, I don't have a warm and fuzzy feeling about the decals. Just the way that they felt, they just didn't feel right to me. The resin upgrades, some of it looked really, really nice. Some of the detail on it was really nice. Some of it kind of like with the turret, there are better options out there for the turret. If you go to Simon Ply on Facebook, he does have a turret set for this that looks absolutely amazing when it is all done on that. But other than that, for straight out of the box, this kit does look pretty nice. Obviously, it is from Academy. It's a rebox from Academy, and it is a older kit. It's 34 years old now, 33 years old now. So it is a older kit. But straight out of the box, you should have no issues with coming out with a nice kit. But that's all I really have to say about this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this inbox review, and thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button for notifications of when I post future content. Also, comment down below. Let us know if you've built this one before, if you had any issues with it being an Academy kit and from 1992. I'm sure some of you have probably built this one before. So that's all I have for now, and until next time, I hope you guys have a really great day. Stay frosty and happy modeling.